بيا وشاطر شاطر 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 كداب
Welcome back to Cooking at Home with Derrick. Today is episode 7 and I'm going to be making Middle Eastern stuffed potatoes. So for today's recipe, you are going to need potatoes, and you're going to want to take the potato and hollow them out. So I'm doing 5 potatoes, but I have 4 done, so I'm going to show you an example. And then I'll finish explaining the rest of the ingredients. So you're going to take a potato like this, peel it, cut the top off, and keep any of the inside that you get out. Take one of these and begin to hollow out the potato. So don't go all the way to the bottom, because of course you're going to want to be able to stuff the potato. And we're going to keep the insides because that's going to be like the bedding once we finish stuffing the potatoes. And that is how you hollow out a potato. For the other ingredients, you're going to need ground beef, olive oil, about just enough to cover the bottom of a pan. You'll need 2.5 tablespoons of bahat. We won't necessarily use all of this because this is just 1 pound of ground beef. You will need 3 teaspoons of chicken bouillon for later on. I'll explain that when we get to that part. You'll need 2 teaspoons of za'atar, but we may not use all of that either. You'll need a little bit of pomegranate sauce or syrup. Not too much because it's super sour. 1 1/8 teaspoon of salt. You'll want 1 1/2 tablespoon of lemon pepper. Not that we'll use all of that either. And you'll want 2 teaspoons of ras el hanout. Not that we'll use all of that also. So we are going to start by doing the ground beef. You'll also want 1 onion, and we can quickly dice that. So I'm going to get the olive oil heating. I'm just going to put enough to cover the bottom of a pan. Okay. And I don't know if we're going to use this whole onion. I think I'll stick with half of an onion for 1 pound of ground beef. And you're just going to want to I don't like too much onion because when I eat these potatoes, I rather be able to taste the meat and potato than a lot of onion. So just smallly slice it. You can mince it, but I don't think that's necessary. Other things you can add into this, peas. You can add garlic. You can add any sort of vegetables, and if you want to make this vegetarian, just replace the filling with something vegetarian. Tofu. I personally don't think that would be good, but I also don't like tofu, so. Okay. So the last thing I'll use scissors for that. We're just going to get the ground beef ready to be. Okay. So over here, I'm heating oil up to fry the potatoes and the inside of the potatoes. So I think that's good. I need to have a top for that. So I think okay. So I'm going to saute the onion. Almost. It's almost ready. Preheat your oven to 325. Now we're going to saute the onion. With the salt. You don't have to use olive oil. I prefer olive oil because it's one, healthier, and two, I prefer the flavor of olive oil. Now I'm going to add like 1 tablespoon of the lemon pepper. We'll start out with that much. And I'll add the ground beef. This is a little tool my great-grandma gave me to help mash meat when you're cooking it. So I will be back with the beef. Now that my beef is almost done, I'm going to add about half of the teaspoon of the ras el hanout. Anyway, that's the way we say it. And then we have 2 teaspoons of za'atar. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of that also. And then about we have 2.5 tablespoons of the mixed Arabic spices bahat. So I'll add about 1.5 tablespoons of that. I'm hoping my oil has not cooled down, so I'm going to turn the heat off until I'm ready to fry my inside of the potatoes. So I'm going to give the beef a small taste and adjust seasoning if I need to. I think it's good. Now I'm going to add the pomegranate sauce. You don't need way too much. I'm using about at least 1.5 teaspoons for the amount of beef I have. You can add less, but it's sour. If you don't like sour, don't add that much. This isn't going to give it the full sour flavor, but it's going to give it enough of a sour flavor. Alright. So I'll give it another taste and see if it is. That's good. I'm going to add, I think I'm going to add more lemon pepper. Take this off the heat and let it cool down, and we'll be back after that. Our meat has cooled off. You're going to take one of your potatoes that you've hollowed out and just begin to stuff it with the meat. Just like so. Since I'm only doing 5 potatoes, I'm most likely going to have leftover meat, but that is fine. And you don't have to just stuff potatoes. You can stuff zucchini, eggplant, squash, anything really. Okay. So just stuff each one of them. This is the reason you didn't want to cut out the bottom, see? I mean, you can, and you can have it like stuffed, but compacted at the top and the bottom, but okay. Get it as full as you can. Like, don't leave an inch or two at the top where you could have put meat and you didn't. Just unstuffed. So. Okay. So now, what you're going to do is take the 3 teaspoons of chicken stock and measure out 3 cups of water. Okay. And you're going to take the 3 teaspoons of chicken stock and whisk it in or dissolve it in with a spoon, either one, with the water. You're going to need more bahat, or also known as mixed Arab spices. And you'll also need a pan to put your potatoes on to go in the oven. So when I fried the inside of the potato, I just put some bahat, so that's why they are brown. Put those on the bottom. I'm going to add some of the leftover meat. This is optional. I usually don't, because I usually have enough meat just to cover the potatoes. So we're just going to fill in okay. And then place your potatoes. I'm going to do meat side outwards, so like the filling facing out. Okay, so that's dirty. Okay, this is when your mint comes in. You can add it in with the meat, but I like to add it at this step. And the mint is totally optional. It's just for a little extra flavor. So just place it around. You can put one sort of in the potato. Just put the mint leaves wherever. And I would have used this mint in the tea yesterday, but I hadn't gone to the store yet. Then you're going to take chicken stock, because you don't want the potatoes on the bottom to dry out. So I have leftover chicken stock. And the last step before cooking them is to spread some of the mixed Arab spices. Putting some on the potatoes. Some in the broth. Now you're going to cook these for about 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how done you want them. So we'll be back after they're now at the point where the potatoes are halfway done, and you're going to want to make like the topping for them, or sort of like I don't know, decoration, eye presentation, whatever. And you're just going to very, very thinly sliced onion. Technically, I should be slicing onion the other way, so it's not small, super small, small, small. As thin as you can, about paper thin. And heat like a tablespoon or 2 of olive oil in a pan. Okay. And let the olive oil get hot first. Okay. And we'll go ahead and take one of these out. And put some paper towel on it. Bring this over here. And you'll also want salt, brat, lemon pepper seasoning, and za'atar. Let's check and see. Our oil is hot. Put all of your onions in. And you're going to caramelize them until they are like brown. Not just light color, but like a brown type color. So, what utensil we use? You can do whatever sort of decoration or whatever you want, presentation, whatever. But I really, for the potatoes, recommend the caramelized onions, because that will give it a nice sort of like look to it. So these are still sauteing, and as they saute, I'm going to go ahead and add about a teaspoon of salt for the onions. So 1 teaspoon. That will also draw like liquid moisture out of the potatoes, onion. The more onion you have, the more salt you want to use. But since I only have half an onion, I'm using a teaspoon of salt. So they're getting softer. And at this point, I will add a teaspoon of, I grabbed the wrong one, lemon pepper seasoning, or to your taste. I'm going to add a little bit more than a teaspoon because I like lemon pepper. That hurts. Alright, this to add not a teaspoon, but half a teaspoon of za'atar. That's optional. I like it for the flavor. But give the onions some sort of flavor besides salt and lemon pepper. And 1 teaspoon of the mixed spice. This again is optional, but sort of flavor the onion with whatever you like. And again, do whatever kind of garnish you want on the potatoes that you want, but I do recommend the onion, the caramelized onion. So my onions are almost fully caramelized. I'm going to add a little extra olive oil, just a little bit. I'm hoping one of these days when I'm making something for you all that I'll have another cat moment where my cat interrupts and we have to show him. Okay. So the onions are done sauteing. The leftover oil we can just like use to drizzle over the potatoes or something. Do not waste that because we can always use it for something. For example, over here I have a jar of oil that I have been saving. So just take this to the side and don't throw it out. Okay. So we'll be back when the potatoes are done and ready to eat. So the potatoes are done cooking, and I have my cousin here with me. He usually won't be on this channel, but when we have an expert like him who wants to taste and stuff, then he will be. So the potatoes are done, and we're going to serve them like this. So
I'm small and you can see me.
Let's do this one. Oh wow.
Thank you. Bye.
We have some meat here and some of the potato inside right here. And it's well cooked, as you can see. And also, before you bring the potato out, make sure that the inside from where you hollowed out is cooked like this, okay? Let's push it to the side.
Are you gonna have one?
Yeah.
Or are we just gonna split this one?
If you want to split this one, we can. If you want to have it, then just a little bit like that. And that's how you can serve it. You can serve it with couscous, rice, any sort of dish. Do you want to split it, or do we want to have one of our own?
I'm fine either way as long as I don't have to eat the onions. I don't like onions.
Yeah, you don't have to. So let's turn this one this way and bring this one here. There we go. So as I said, you can make this vegetarian or whatever. So are you ready?
Yeah.
Here's a fork. I'm gonna try and get some of the inside too.
Hot. Hot.
They are really good.
Yeah, pretty good.
I like the flavor of the beef. I also like the potato a lot. So, also you don't only have to stuff potatoes. You can do zucchini, eggplant, squash, anything.
Pretty good, but they're hot. Not spicy, but temperature-wise.
I personally give that about a...
Out of 10?
I'd say about a 9. At least. I'll probably... Next time, I'm probably going to add less of the pomegranate sauce.
Yeah, I'll get that later. I'd probably do... Cooked well. Not spicy. Tastes good. 9 to 10 out of 10.
The onions are good too.
Yeah, I don't like onions.
So that's it for today. I hope you all enjoyed episode 7 of Cooking at Home with Derrick. And I'll see you on the next episode. Hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.